First up, after the CBFC or the Central Board for Film Certification kicked up a storm for denying a certificate to Prakash Jha's film Lipstick Under My Burqa, Pelaj Nilani's censor board is once again doing the same. This time, it has refused to clear a Malayalam film, Bodyscapes, and their justification is that it glorifies homosexuality. The board has denied the certificate to the film despite a High Court directive to clear the film. Director Jen Cherion took to Facebook to share the censor board's letter where it claims that the film accentuates male nudity and offends Hindu sensibilities. It also says scenes of a Muslim woman masturbating are offensive. Now the filmmaker has been asked by the board to appeal before the Film Certificate Appellate Tribunal within the next 30 days. Filmmaker Mr. Jen Cherion right now, who is joining us live. Mr. Cherian, thank you so much. Once again, the CBFC in the news for all the wrong reason, and your particular film attracting intense scrutiny and also, various bureaucratic hurdles. Now, just tell us what exactly happened to begin with.
Thank you, Ravanda. Our censorship certification process was beginning almost last March. It's almost a year. We are in various hierarchies of censorship and the High Court fighting to get certified our film Bodyscapes, which is a film about a plight of a group of young people in Kerala trying to use their body as a political tool to express themselves. As if we are seeing past 2-3 years, the political struggles happen all over in Kerala, especially in terms of gender rights, in terms of sexual rights, in terms of personal privacy.
Mr. Cherian, my apologies to interrupt you there. We're just having an issue with your audio. We'll just fix that, but we'll just tell our viewers at the same time a little bit about the film that has run into the trouble with the CBFC. In fact, they have refused to clear this Malayalam film, Bodyscapes. They are saying that it glorifies homosexuality. The board has denied giving a certificate to this particular film. And what's interesting is that this film has been given a directive from the High Court that it be cleared. Despite that, the CBFC has denied giving the film a certificate. Director Mr. Cherian, who I was just speaking to, in fact, and I will continue to talk to him, has taken to Facebook to share his ordeal, to share, he has even shared the letter that he has received from the censor board where it claims that the film accentuates male nudity and it offends Hindu sentiments, and therefore the CBFC denying a certificate to this Malayalam film. Now, what's interesting is that the filmmaker has been asked by the censor board to appeal before the Film Certification Appellate Tribunal within the next 30 days. And this is the same thing that happened with the film Lipstick Under My Burqa. In fact, we even spoke to the filmmaker of that particular film, Lipstick Under My Burqa, where the director vowed to fight till the ban on her film is lifted. So here is another case of a film getting into trouble, facing these roadblocks before its release, being denied a certificate by the Central Board of Film Certification. We're just going to go back to the film director. We'll just speak about what exactly are the reservations that have been expressed by the censor board and just why they have denied a certificate, and why are they still not giving a clearance to this particular film when the High Court has given a directive that it be cleared. And that is an interesting part that I would be speaking to Mr. Cherian once we just fix that audio. In fact, just a few days back, Lipstick Under My Burqa, the director of an award-winning Indian film, was also fighting the Indian censors to ensure that her film got released in the country. The filmmaker, Alankrita Srivastava, even spoke to India today. She spoke of her struggles to get her film cleared in India. She wanted the film to be released, but the film has been denied a certificate. And this is an award-winning Indian film, Lipstick Under My Burqa, because the censor board felt that there were several scenes that perhaps would offend a certain community. And the Central Board of Film Certification also complained that the film had a few abusive words, it had audio pornography, it had a bit sensitive touch about one particular section of a society. So that is the justification that was given by the Central Board of Film Certification for denying a certificate to the film Lipstick Under My Burqa. And here's another film, a Malayalam film, that has run into the same set of issues and problems with the Central Board of Film Certification. You know, just a short while back, my colleague Divina got a chance to speak to the film director, Mr. Cherian. Let's just listen in to what he had to say.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. First, I am going through this process like the last 1 year, and we have 2 High Court verdicts in favor of us. And CBFC have 3 screenings now. Consistently, they are denying the right, outrightly banning the film. They are not asking suggesting any cut or blur or any mute, but they are just outrightly ban the film. The reasons they are given is totally ridiculous. Glorifying homosexuality. Homosexuality is a sexual orientation of human beings, all kind of beings. And how can I propagate or how can I glorify it? If though it is a sexual orientation, the majority of the films coming out of India is glorifying heterosexuality. How can I say?
Okay, we have with us the filmmaker live. This is the phone-in that we had with Mr. Cherian a short while back, but he's joining us live right now. Mr. Cherian, I wonder what is so controversial about homosexuality? There have been films that have been made in the past as well in Bollywood. Just very recently, the film Aligarh was also released. I just want to take you back to the time when you took your film to the CBFC, and what exactly did you hear from them? What were their reservations?
Actually, I am also wondering why the homosexuality, I'm accusing the film glorifying homosexuality. Homosexuality is a sexual orientation like any other sexual orientation. But the film, I think they have problems with the political idea which is putting forward. The film is explicitly resisting the state terrorism and kind of a fascist approach, cultural fascist approach against artists by the state or by any conservative forces in a particular society. Probably which is unsettling for the people who is in power. That is one of the reasons, I think.
Absolutely. I wonder, sir, at a time when the Supreme Court itself is willing to review certain sections of, Section 377 and is open to talk about homosexuality, why is it that the Censor Board have, such reservations of giving a certificate to the film?
That is what I am wondering. The film is about a plight of an artist. Of course, there is several paintings in the wall of the studio of the painter we are depicting. And nudity in the painting in an art is not never ever held as a crime or an obscene or offensive in any cinema. Actually, if you walk into any temple or any museum in India, you can see more explicit pictures, paintings, more than which is depicted in Bodyscapes.
Absolutely. You know, sir, just a few days back, a similar film ran into similar issues. Alankrita Srivastav, the director of the film Lipstick Under My Burqa, spoke of her ordeal. She vowed to fight back. In fact, she said she also was asked to go to the Film Certificate Appellate Tribunal, as you have been asked as well. I just want to ask you a little bit more about what was the High Court's directive. When did you go to the courts? How did the issue, reach the courts? Is that true?
The issue is that we originally... that is a good question. Actually, we originally approached last April. Last March, we applied for the certification in regional board in Trivandrum, and they watched the film and outrightly, and apparently the group of the people who is watching the film, the members belongs to a particular political group. That is so consistent throughout every review committee. And the regional board refused to certify, and they referred to a revising committee in Chennai. And Chennai, we screened the film, and they are also refused to give certification. So we moved to the court, and we filed a writ petition, and which is the judgment come out in September 25th by Honorable Judge P.B. Suresh Kumar of Kerala High Court, specifically direct CBFC to certify the film within 30 days. And
so those instructions were given to the regional board by the court.
The court, censor board, CBFC.
To the censor board. All right. Okay. Then
the censor board, and the CBFC totally ignored the film, the order, and the film is selected in the Kerala Film Festival in last December, and Jayan Ministry intervened and broke the film, gave the permission, not allow the film show in a festival, in Kerala International Film Festival. So we approached the court to get an interim order to exclusively show the film in Kerala Film Festival. So we got it. Meanwhile, we are also planning to move a contempt of court against CBFC.
Yes, this is a clear contempt of court, isn't it? If the CBFC does not adhere to what the court has directed the censor board to do, it would be viewed as contempt of court, wouldn't it?
CBFC totally ignored it, and then later CBFC filed in front of division bench, a two-bench court in High Court of Kerala, and that verdict came out last December 2nd. And in that verdict, court insists CBFC to clear the film within 90 days. So and the film should watch by the highest body in the land in terms of CBFC. So chairman constituted body review committee again. The third screening happened in February 17th, 2 weeks ago in Mumbai. I myself went there and talked to CBFC chairman. Chairman himself watched the film with his 10-member crew. And then actually he told me directly, we are not going to allow the film. And I mentioned him, you have to clear the film, the court order is there. And Mr. Pahlani, Mr. Mihalani told me that you can go back to court. And we are denying the certification and refusing to certify the film. And I got in writing. This happened last week, but only I got the letter yesterday.
Yes, and that was the response also that we received from Mr. Pailaj Nilani when he was asked about just why the CBFC denied a certificate to the film Lipstick Under My Burqa. He said, well, we have done what we had to. Now it's up to the filmmakers to go to the courts, to knock the doors of the courts. But tell me, sir, what do you make of, these kind of, refusals to deny a film a certificate? I mean, there have been so many films that have been produced in our country that we all have been seen, which are so bold, which have dared to break, stereotypes. They have dared to break the mold. Why is it now all of a sudden we are seeing all these restrictions being put, all these questions being asked?
So that is growing intolerance in India generally, especially dissenting opinions being suppressed. That is the nature of our country. Our nation is getting authoritarian every moment. Our society is getting authoritarian every moment. And why? What kind of government, democratic government, afraid of a piece of art? So we are not talking about Stalinist Russia or Nazi Germany. This is a democratic India, biggest democratic nation in the world. The government body intervening editorially in a piece of art. It is totally ridiculous. It has no place in a democracy. We are endangering our democracy, and also as progressive people, we are really. It is so embarrassing situation right now. It is kind of ridiculous. It is totally undemocratic. It is very fascist.
And are our censors not comfortable enough with contrarian views, with someone having an alternate point of view? Has the stage come to this point now that the censor board is just refusing to debate or discuss a film that could possibly, generate interest or, could be very sensitive. Are you saying that there is lack of, discussion anymore now between a filmmaker and the censor board?
And actually, censor board itself an absurd thing in a democratic country. That is also actually the horror is that this the arrogance of the people who is in power, they can just ignore the court order, irrespective of court order. They can put together their own people and decide arbitrarily and claiming themselves representing the people. That is the horror. And also, there is no teeth for judiciary in the system, and actually it is kind of affecting the core principles of our democracy. It is a real horror.
But we did speak to the Union Minister yesterday, Mr. Venkaiah Naidu, and he did emphasize on the need for regulation. However, he also added that the Shyam Benegal Committee report is also being studied thoroughly. After this incident, Mr. Cherian, do you feel a sense of dejection? What really is going to be your next step?
My next step is go back to court and file a contempt of court against Pahlav Nihalani and CBFC. They have to respect the law of the land. And they have to take the directives of the High Court verdict as literary. And I still believe in the system. As a person who is believing democracy and law of the land, we hope we get justice from the court.
Do you think that, restrictions such as these would only hamper artistic and creative expression and space?
So not only artistic expression, when a country, a government start to fear its own artists, it is sending a dangerous signals. In the history, we know these things. How the authoritarian governments come into power and taking all the power and leading to totally dictatorship. I mean, it is a horror.
All right.
It is not desirable in a democratic country.
All right, Mr. Jen Cherion, thank you so much for speaking to us on India Today, and we will keep a close track on what really happens to this film, what lies in store for the film. Coming up next.